Jack Daniels is actually apparently really concerned that consumers are going to be confused between their whiskey and this dog toy, which says on this dog toy, it says Bad Spaniel's 43% poo by volume.
Welcome to The Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering this week and where the story's going next. I'm Sarah Westwood, and I'm here today with commentary editor Conn Carroll. And Conn, all indications are that President Joe Biden is sort of angling towards announcing a re-election bid. He's moving to the center on a number of issues, and you guys wrote about this at the Examiner this week. Do you think voters will buy that?
I hope not. I mean, look, he's had two big areas where he's moved kind of centrist. One is on immigration, where he has kind of stepped up enforcement of Title 42, and then he's floated these stories in the New York Times that say they might detain families at the border, which isn't even a real policy change. It's a fictional one. But then also he approved a major project in Alaska on the National Petroleum Reserve there, but just the one project, and then he banned any other oil drilling on the rest of the project, on the rest of the oil reserve, and then also banned any new construction of pipelines to help get the oil out. So both of these things, it's kind of a fake move to the center. He, kind of is trying to secure the border, but not really. Kind of trying to develop more energy, but not really. And so in both cases, I think they're going to have half-hearted measures, because at the end of the day, in May, he's going to lose Title 42. The border is going to descend into chaos again. And his moves on oil aren't going to actually produce any more oil, and the price of gas come summer is only going to go up again. He's going to end up losing voters on both those issues.
Is he at all risking the sort of wrath of the activist left, or do they see that it's also kind of
a
a ploy?
I think they get it. I think they're in on the joke. Right? So far, talking to progressives, both reporters of the Examiner and other outlets, gone over, talked to progressive party members and say, look, do these moves bother you? And they're like, no, not really. We're super happy with what he's done on everything else. And even then on energy, they just passed the Inflation Reduction Act, which apparently is really an energy thing. They say, we're happy with that. It doesn't matter what he does in Alaska. So.
Let's talk about a Supreme Court case that was heard this past week. It has to do with Jack Daniels whiskey and a Jack Daniels dog toy. I've kind of set the scene of what this is.
Sure. So, I think this kind of just shows the over-broadness of our intellectual property laws. But this is a case actually argued before the Supreme Court where Jack Daniels actually went before the court and said, we are worried that our distinctive Jack Daniels whiskey is going to be confused with a dog toy called Bad Spaniels. Okay, so you have this couple, they're out of Arizona. They've created a whole line of dog toys that spoof off of alcohol bottles. So they have another one called like Heine Sniffin, which, as you can imagine, looks like a Heineken bottle. Yes, you see where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
There's also a Pissness, which is Guinness, looks like a Guinness bottle. So you can see what they're going off of. Now, the Heineken, they're fine with it. Guinness, they get the joke. But Jack Daniels is actually apparently really concerned that consumers are going to be confused between their whiskey and this dog toy, which says on this dog toy, it says Bad Spaniel's 43% poo by volume. So in a trademark case, the standard that the court looks at is whether or not a consumer would be be likely to be confused between the two products. And Jack Daniels actually argued in court that they thought consumers would be confused between their whiskey and this dog toy.
Now tell me about this, because there was an expert witness, expert that's
named, swear to God, Gerald Ford. That was his actual name. Seriously?
Wow.
I don't make this up.
Wonderful. And so he said that 29% of consumers were confused between these two products. How is that possible?
Well, he did it. So there's actually, because you get a lot of these trademark cases, there's standard accepted case law about what the proper method is of determining what consumer confusion is. And so what you do is you recruit a bunch of real American consumers, and in this case you show them pictures of each product mixed in with a whole bunch of pictures of other products. And then at the end you ask them a series of questions, and one of the questions is, do you think the same company that produced product A produced, sponsored, or allowed this other product to be made? And apparently 29% of the people who were recruited for the survey said, oh yes, we think the same company that produced that bottle of whiskey also produced that dog toy.
So what makes the case, I guess, special or unique enough to be heard before the Supreme Court?
So the Ninth Circuit said that because the dog toy was clearly a parody of Jack Daniel's whiskeys, that therefore it should be an exception to that consumer confusion test. They invented this out of thin air, as the Ninth Circuit often does. They're probably going to lose. You know, I do think the dog toy should win in this case, but not because of some invented parody exception. Either Congress should go back and revisit this consumer confusion test, or courts should say, you know, look, 29% of consumers really should be able to protect themselves from a dog toy.
Well, Conn, thank you so much for being here
Absolutely.
today. You can get more writing from Conn and the rest of the commentary team at washingtonexaminer.com.